Sup Nerds, Free 99 here. Welcome back to Route 32 of Pokepath TD. I'm gonna try something new. Something that I didn't think would be a good idea, but honestly, we've tried everything else. Why not try this dumb idea this time? So we're getting rid of the stun in order to put in more damage with Lucario. First and foremost, we've gone over them quite a few times. What am I doing? I'm going into here. They deal essentially 500 damage twice per 3 seconds with a critical chance of 35%. Also, their damage is AoE, so it explodes and then it deals half damage to all the ones that are caught in the explosion. But we're also, the main focus of this is to check out Whimsicott. Now, Whimsicott is honestly piss poor. 175 damage, terrible. Recharge time at 0.86, which is all right. But their ability, attacks have a 5% chance to restore 1 heart, has the chance which each use 3 uses per wave. We paired that up with a big root, which doubles the hearts restored. So a 5% chance to restore 2, which then becomes 2.5%, which then becomes 1.25%. So the increased recharge time is, I guess, necessary for this in order to proc, because the more attacks they have, the better chance that we'll hit the 5%. Whether or not this is actually good, I don't know. But I figured instead of trying to take everything out, maybe we can just out-heal the damage that we're taking. Again, I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel for this. I honestly have no idea where else to go from here. So yeah, we're going to try this. We're going to cross our fingers and we're going to hope that it works. If it doesn't, then we're back to the drawing boards. So let's just go. So we've actually triggered the heal quite a bit, which is a bit surprising to me. I didn't actually think we would heal all 4 in like 5 waves. It's making me want to change an item around. So right now, El Toro Fuerte is holding the Carbos, which gives it 15% attack speed. If we were to then change this into, was it the Shell Bell? No, that's not it. Heart Scale. After recovering a heart, the Pokemon holding this item will have its recharge speed reduced by 50% for the rest of the wave. 15% guaranteed attack speed really isn't a whole lot. It's like, it puts you down to, what, 0.82? Which, you know, diminishing returns because you're under a second. But like 50% attack speed sometimes? Honestly, isn't that bad. Where is it? The heart scale. I don't think El Toro Fuerte has to be the one to recover the heart. which is why this can be held by anybody. But if this is how that works, then great. Let's check it out. It's an invisible wave, but we have a permanent anti-invis on the team, so let's just go on with it. We got another invisible wave. I just remembered, or I just realized, I should say, that... Wait! No! For the rest of the wave. But we haven't done anything yet. We're at the start of the wave, so how did we heal? I was gonna say, like, if we don't heal hearts, this won't proc, but it evidently it does? So that's kind of cool. Okay, so the heart stays until we hit next wave or auto, and then it disappears because the next wave has already begun. This is technically still the end of the last wave. I understand. So, even though we don't heal, Whimsicott could still technically proc the heart scale, which is actually very interesting. Because that means... that means it might always proc. So does that mean Ferrothorn can take back their damage with... No. 134 cut in half is minuscule. I think it's still fine with that. But this is kind of cool. This is new. This is like worth a test for other things. This is kind of cool. Yeah, again, like I said, it doesn't matter if we take damage. Whimsicott will just heal it back. So we're not really losing anything. If anything, Hawlucha is just gaining a permanent 50% attack speed. So that's kind of cool. I was going to mention that the healing would be wasted if it procs and we have max health. But again, because we're using the heart scale, it's not really wasted. So I know Maractus right now has the spell tag, which gives it 30% more damage, since it will be attacking low-end poisoned Pokemon. But if we reduce its recharge time by 50%, you're looking at a 1-second attack speed, which isn't so bad. I'm thinking of swapping the held items around. But then El Toro Fuerte can't really use the spell tag, so then they'll have to get something else. But I feel like the attack speed on the Maractus is a lot more useful because you're reducing the recharge time a lot more than on somebody that already has a 1-second recharge time. So then maybe you get the protein for a bit of extra damage? Maybe? Let's try this, see what happens. So far, so good. We would have died by now if it wasn't for the healing. So, yeah. I can't believe this is working. Famous last words. I'm gonna jinx it right here. But I'm kind of glad that it is working. Wave 93, this is where we died last time. Let's hope that this doesn't repeat. This is the farthest that we've gone. Now we're fighting 8 Frostlast that resist the slow. So that kind of sucks. But you know what? If it ain't broke... Okay, it's kind of broke. It works, but it doesn't. Which is very interesting. Very interesting. I think we could do something great with this. But it needs to be paired with something. What if we save this in 1? And then what if we do like a stunning build? We'll do like a slow build on 1. And then when we come across stuff that resists the slow, what if we like remove the Swalot, remove the Ferrothorn, add in the Ampharos, because nothing is ever immune to stun and slow at the same time. At least I don't think we've come across that yet. And then we would add Ditto to mimic the Sceptile. So now we have Legion here. And then we have Lighthouse here. And Lighthouse is gonna wear the Quick Claw. Save that at 2. Is this something? Hopefully it's something. So the Frostlass are resistant to slow, and they're also invisible units. So this kind of works out. Whenever the game stops and we see the Frostlasses here, we swap to our stun unit and hit next wave. So far, so good. Let's see how far we get with this strat. We got another Frostlass on us. Let's go ahead and swap to our stunners. Keep on going. Okay, so the Mamoswine don't like being stunned. So that's something to, I guess, weigh between choosing the stun or slow. For now, it's just Cloisters that are the issue, which hate being slowed, so we need to stun them. Vanillux doesn't care about anything, but Frostlass does hate the slow, so I think we stick to this team. Mamoswine hates being stunned. These are both under burn. So then we go back to the poison team. Oh, there is a Pokemon that doesn't like being stunned and slowed at the same time. Okay, cool, but at least Delibird doesn't come around that often. So we'll stick to the slow team for now. These are just anti-burn. It doesn't matter which one we use. So we've got 4 anti-stun, and we've got 2 anti-slow. So then we should stick to the slow because it'll affect more Pokemon. So we've made it to the 90s again. Here comes the Glalie. We've got 3 anti-slow. We've got 2 more on top of that. And then they resist poison. Oh yeah, no, I knew about this. Yes, yes, yes. So these don't like being slowed. These don't like being poisoned, which means both of these are terrible. So we need to swap into our stun team. So now we got 7 stun resist, 5 that resist everything, but they just melt with their 679 health. So it really doesn't matter. We're going to go ahead and put on our slow team now. So we did lose some health, but hopefully Whimsicott will heal them here. We've got Shelter doesn't matter, you don't matter. We've got 6 anti-slow and 4 more on top of that. So we need Le Stun team. So now we need the slow team because of 40 Seismitoad. Yes, it sucks that we're letting 4 Frostlass leave, but it's way better than taking 40 damage from Seismitoads. So let's go ahead and put the poison back. We made it out of there, not bad, not bad. 8 Frostlass means we need the stun team. So we've got anti-poison at a 6. We've got anti-slow at an 8. And an anti-stun at a 3. Mamoswine also has a power of 2. So I feel like poison is the way to go here. Because Cloyster can also be taken down with poison. It's just the Glalie that are going to be the issue. Hopefully I'm right with this gambit. So unfortunately, we didn't heal that entire time. So we just ended up dying, which kind of sucks. That's the other issue with this, is that we're banking on a very low chance. I wonder, so if we don't care about the damage and they're literally just here for the heal. Was it zoom lens? Older fires projectiles, deal less damage. Does having like a second attack matter? We heal less overall because now instead of healing 6 per wave, we can only heal 3. But I'm assuming the second projectile also increases that chance by double. So now we have a 10% chance? Is that how this works? They resist stun, so this is a slow team. Something else I should really do is swap the two of these. If we can get Whimsicott's attack to proc before they get to Maractus, then maybe, hopefully, that means increase in DPS. We definitely want you to proc before the Pokemon enter Maractus's range. And you being up there essentially means you do not proc until after they have gone through Maractus's barrage. So putting you down here means you do have this window of like a very small L where you could proc before they get to Maractus and Maractus takes them out. Is that something? Let's find out. Also, what team is this? This is resist burn, resist stun, resist stun. So this is still slow. This is still the anti-slow team. We're still using the slow team for this, I believe. Yeah, Mamoswine and Seismitoad resist the stun. So we now start using the stun team when Frostlass entered. This is still... No, this is the slow team. No, you resist slow. This is the stun team. Yes. Now we're back. Wait. 5 Seismitoad is worse than dealing with 2 Frostlass? So we should go slow team? Oh, we never updated the slow team to do this, did we? We need to save this as 1. And then we need to save this as 2. So now that's a little better. Or is it? If I put the slow on this side, and then swap you two around, does that do anything? Maybe? But how would that work here? It wouldn't? Would have to be something like this. To again try to proc the Whimsicott before Maractus can do anything. This could be something, this could be nothing. Not entirely sure. But anyway, we're dealing with anti-stun, anti-stun, anti-slow, anti-slow. Again, the Mammo Swine deals double damage. So we have to prioritize murdering them. So this has to be slow team. We lost some health, but that's okay. We should be able to heal it back. We now need to go to stun team for this. That sucked. We lost a lot of health in that one. Also, this team still uses the healing. This should really be the... What was it? What did we put on you? The zoom lens? Is that what we were trying? So stun team save 2. Load 1. And you're still using the big root, which should really be the zoom lens. Save that 1. Is everything better now? I think so. Frost Slash, this is a stun team. I believe this is a slow team. We've clawed our way back to gaining some health, which is really nice. This is a slow team, which is what we already have. This team doesn't matter. We're back to full health, which is very encouraging. This needs to be slow team, because Mammo Swines are scary. So we finally come to the wave 90 where Glalie starts spawning, which resist poison. This is definitely a stun team. This one is definitely a slow team. So we lost 6 health there. Hopefully we can recoup. This is definitely a stun team, right? Yeah, this is definitely stun team. So we're at half health going into wave 93. It's not looking good, but we're still going to try our best. We have 40 anti-stun versus 4 anti-slow. So I believe we go slow team for this. The seismitodes melted, which is the key part of that strat. Yes, all the frost slash went through, but losing 4 health is better than losing however many seismitodes would have gone through. We're down at 3 health. It's looking grim. If we let a even like 1 Mamoswine plus something else pass, then we're kinda hosed. You resist poison. You resist slow. So it's better for the stun team to take out these 14. But the Mamoswine does double damage. Like this is really hard. This is kind of shitty. Hopefully we can heal all 3 and then the Mamoswines don't take us out. If we can at least kill 1 Mamoswine and heal for 3, we should live. Something like that. No, it's just, okay, we're missing something again. We found something, which is the heal strat. But we're missing something very dear. What if we give you up and put back the... What if we put all 3 of them back? That's like the only thing I can think of. Remove Big Dog. Add in Ampharos. Put it where they're supposed to be. I don't like the stun and slow stacking on top of each other. And then you're back to maybe not proccing until we get to Maractus. So then we would have to do something like this. So now you have a chance of proccing before the Maractus does the thing. Is that something? Maybe? Clefable, I think, is still fine. I think you're still fine. I think the Clefable and the Eagle Eye are the only reasons why some of the Pokemon that end up at the final stretch, like, end up dying. You're attacking high HP. What if we make you attack the first? You just attack first at all times. Because sometimes you'll attack the highest HP that are still coming down the tracks instead of the ones that are finishing. So maybe that's something. Are you still attacking high armor? You are. Lighthouse needs something now. Lighthouse needs something. Adrenaline Orb? Maybe? Because even though we have a healer, like, we're still losing health. And I don't actually know if the zoom lens... I think it's still all one attack, even though it shoots out 2 projectiles, so I'm pretty sure the big root is still better. Maybe? Who knows? We'll save this as 3, because it's the combined poison, slow, and stun. And then we'll just hit auto and hope for the best, I guess. It sucks not having the damage potential of Lucario, but this is working. We're still at max health. So there's something to be said about this. I'm gonna take off the Adrenaline Orb, and I'm just gonna give them guaranteed speed with the Carbos. Just because we are relatively staying at max health. Let's go ahead and continue. Palucha is attacking high armor, right? Yeah, I did already double check on that. But is there something we can give him that's a little bit better than just a vanilla 15 damage? Is anybody using the blue bandana right now? I don't think so. At least not in this team. So we'll give you that. We didn't steal it from anybody, no. So this is better. This is better. They're dealing more damage. Is there anything else that looks good? Not to spin the cocktail, I don't think. I think this is a little bit better. Let's go ahead and keep going. I wish there was an unequipped all item in like this box. Kind of like how there is remove all from team in this box. If the developer ever sees this, that's my one suggestion for a quality of life. So we're getting to the part where we're starting to lose health. This is 43 or 0.43 seconds. This is also 0.43 seconds. So depending on how far we get, maybe it is better to just start using the adrenaline orb now? As soon as I put on the adrenaline orb, the game decided to put us back at max health, which means the adrenaline orb isn't doing anything. I think I'm gonna stick to the Carbos, honestly. We are at wave 90. This is where we do die. So maybe this is a terrible idea, but then again, we just learned that it takes 2, 4, 6 health to be missing in order for the adrenaline orb to break even. So maybe if we go one at a time, and as soon as we hit the second row of hearts, then we'll switch. It doesn't look like it's going to take that long to switch to the adrenaline orb, to be honest. Okay, we're swapping here. So with 2 less hearts, the negative 0.43 becomes 0.57. That's all right. It's more than what we used to have. So even though we healed quite a bit of health, we're back to where we started, which is kind of funny. Okay, that was very touch and go. I didn't know if we were going to lose there or not. But at basically 3 health remaining, we're at negative 0.78. So maybe at 1 health remaining, we have a negative 1 recharge speed, which isn't bad. They go from basically 3 seconds to 2 seconds. Let's keep going and hope for the best. We're down to 1 health. Okay. The chances of us winning Wave 95 with just 1 health is astronomical. But yeah, we do take off 0.93 seconds, which drops this to below 3 seconds. Or below, like, 2-second attack speed. That's good to know for future reference, I guess. That entire time, Whimsicott did not even heal us. What is up with Wave 95 and just not getting the proc to heal? I think it might be because there's very little Pokemon that run by. So then we have less chance to do the attacking heal. But it would mean that, like, this entire run, starting at 75, all hinges on whether or not we heal at Wave 95. So I don't think this is the team. I really don't think this is the team. We have to come up with something else. Doing the whole trifecta doesn't work either with the heal. So there's really something that we are missing here. Like a big DPS attacker, I think. But whatever it is, it's not gonna be figured out in this episode. So until next time, as always, I've been Free99. You've all been amazing. I'll catch you next time.